Thanks for joining us today in the garden. We are talking about some of those vegetables that you can get planted right now in your garden. One of those being peas. We have a couple different varieties here. So the first thing that you want to do before you start any of this process is kind of get your soil ready to go. Yeah, you want to, if you really want to make a good soil base before you're kind of planting any of that in this, any of your vegetables in the soil. So we have Harvest Supreme is a kind of a premium soil amendment, has a lot of good nutrients, it has some chicken manure, has a lot of other stuff in there that really has a good nutrient package. You want to be going in and putting that in, kind of working that into your bed, raking that in. We've already done that here with ours, as well as fertilizing. You want to kind of get some good fertilizer on there, put it in. Now, the thing to think about with peas is there's three different types, kind of three different categories of peas. There's the shelling peas that you take out of the pod and just eat the pea. Then there's the snap peas, the sugar snap peas that have a fully developed pea when they're ripe, but you also eat the whole pod. You kind of eat the whole thing. And then there's the snow peas from that you'd use for stir fries that are pretty much just a flat pod, don't really have the peas. So we've pre-amended our soil. We've got our fertilizer already in there. And what we want to do is just be making some holes. Taking our little pea plants. This one here is a sugar Ann, so this is a snap pea. And we just want to be putting it in. You don't want to be burying it any deeper than it was in the 6-pack. So we're just going to be putting it in like so, forming our soil around it, kind of giving it a good pat. Some of the pea varieties you'll see on the tag, it'll say that it doesn't need support. And that's true. Some of them do fairly well without support. I always prefer to do some kind of support with the peas, whether that's the really kind of smallest size of tomato cage, or you can get stakes and run string in between them. We have little trellises that we sell at the Grange. However you choose to do it, it is a good idea to make sure and get some kind of support. When you get a lot of wind, you can have the whole plants kind of toppling over if they're not supported. And they do, being pea plants, they have little tendrils. They do grab on to whatever it is that's around them. So that's a big thing that I always like to do, is make sure you're doing some kind of support for them. Okay, and so like we have a couple different varieties here. Let's say you were to do a couple of those snap peas. Could you take these ones and put those kind of right next to that snap pea? Yeah, you're going to want to do some pretty good spacing. I would be doing my plants maybe something like, I would do something about 1 foot apart, something like that. You can do give or take. It depends on kind of if you want the plants to look like they're individual plants, or if you kind of want them growing where it looks like they're just all growing together. But yeah, there's no downside to kind of mixing them. You can have your snap peas and with your snow peas. Doesn't really matter as far as the plants go. Biggest thing is that these guys are going to want to produce their give you the fruit, give you the peas before we get really hot in the summertime. That's what they don't like. So if you get them in now, get them planted, get them up to size, you'll be harvesting peas in the springtime, and then the plants are really going to peter out when we start getting some really hot temperatures. And is this something that once we do get into the warmer months, you're going to need to replant next year? Yeah, you can actually do these guys spring and fall. Okay. So you could plant them now, kind of get them going in. They peter out when you get real hot. And then another good idea is you can either plant seeds, or you can plant the plants kind of end of the summer. So you get kind of end of August or into September. You can do your cold weather plantings then. And like I said, they don't mind the cold. So even after it starts freezing, they'll still keep going for quite a ways into it. Okay, perfect. Thanks for joining us in the garden today. If you'd like to learn more about planting those peas, getting your garden ready for some of those spring and summertime foods, you can head to our website, KDRV.com, or the easiest way is to just head into a Grange Co-op store near you. We'll see you next time in the garden.